Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG that's otherwise known as a leFhy or a leaf blower. We know it as VP La Pew Pew. This one is located on the south spawn of Ghost Town, and it's under the command of Mr. B. Yes, and I know that's not his real name, but we say his real name, or YouTube might have problems with us. So we don't say his real name, just say Mr. B. Well, he's taking his vehicle a little way away from the spawn point. It's got a 105mm howitzer capable of 410 alpha, penetrating 53mm of armor, and it will fire once every 8.92 seconds unless you get a faster reload, and in fact Mr. B's got it down to 7.01. You can see enemy tanks in the town already moving into position. Okay. Now, we're going to see something in this video that we haven't seen for quite a while. Yes, somebody's going to be very, very silly indeed. Mr. B's aiming at the enemy, going for an M8A1, but you'll notice there's a BT7 directly in front of him. You can see him on the mini-map. And yes, he's now shooting at Mr. B, even though it will have absolutely no effect. That's why Wargaming took it out of the game, because people who are being rather silly like this really shouldn't be in the game at all. Yes, they should have their accounts removed because they obviously haven't learned how to behave. Now, this Stug 3 Ausführung B is actually coming to the rescue of Mr. B. And just in time, because you can see an enemy looks has suddenly come into view, and a leopard, and they're firing at Mr. B, but unfortunately this BT7 is still being a flaming nuisance, and Mr. B is taking fire from the enemy, dialing in as quickly as he can on a looks. Fires the first round in. No, didn't get that one. In fact, he didn't get one from the first shot, but he's now taking fire down to his last few hit points, and he's out the game because the looks gets him. Unfortunately, that BT7 actually delayed Mr. B long enough that he was actually sitting here trying to fend off Mr. B, the BT7 shots, when he should have been aiming at the enemy. So sadly, this is not going well, because the enemy have managed to get down all the way down the east side of the map. But our team is actually 4 tanks up on the enemy at the moment, so it does look as if Mr. B's team is going to win. No thanks to that BT7 player. We will identify who he is, so you get to know, so you can mark him down and blacklist him, just in case you do come across him in battle. Seven tanks up on the enemy now. It looks like they made a big mistake coming down the east side of the map in force, because they have lost a few tanks. It's not just that looks. They've lost they've also got an M5A1 down here, but they're the last 2 remaining enemy tanks. All the others have been wiped out, and I think they're probably going to have to try and retreat all the way up the other end of the map, and if they don't, there's a very good chance that our team will find them and wipe them out anyway. In fact, the looks is only a short distance away. In fact, I'll go to third-person mode, and we'll overfly his position so we can see what happens to him. Yes, there he is. And even a T28 can kill a looks, even after taking all those shots from the autocannon. And the T28 is off looking for the M5. Now he's got the 57mm gun, I think. And the M5A1, or the M5 Stuart rather, did manage to get some penetrations on the T28, but he's now about to be outflanked. We'll move over to this side of the map. And, well, another kill. The M5A1 kills the BT7, but he gets taken out in return by the KV-1SA. Game over. Here's the end of battle stats, and despite that being a loss, you can see that Mr. B did earn some credits and also some XP out of that game. We can see that he didn't get any mastery, he didn't get any medals at all, and his win rate was only 261, but we can see that he did block some shots from the enemy, and he got some spotting, which enabled him to earn some credits at the very least for the assist that he managed to provide. Or at least he didn't actually provide any assist as such, but anyway. We'll look at the details, and we can see the high score in that game was the Panzerfahrzeug who got a high caliber for 2,478. Second highest damage was the T67, 1,347. And the third highest damage was the KV-1SA, who managed 1,063. I'm afraid Mr. B didn't get any damage at all on the enemy. When it came to kills, it was the KV-1SA got 5, 3 kills to the M8A1, and then there was a whole bunch of attacks with 2 kills apiece, the Panzerfahrzeug T67 and the T28. And on the enemy team, only one tank managed to get more than 1 kill, and that was the Lux. And when it came to Mr. B, no kills at all. And when it came to base XP, we can see the Panzerfahrzeug got 975, 838 for the KV-1SA, 634 for the AMX ELC Biz, and Mr. B only got 240 out of that one. Let's have a quick look at this troll. His name is Mark07 Grozny, or Groz NYI rather, and that actually is his real identity. We've checked that by looking into it, and we can see that he's not a very good player. Only 45% victories, a rating of 2026, which shows he's actually. This is probably a very small account because it's only 2,026 battles, but it's probably somebody who's just being a general nuisance to other people. And that's another reason why he should have his account taken away from him, because he's not taking the game seriously. He's not playing to win. He's actually playing to be a troll and to upset other people. And that's more reason for him to have his account removed. Anyway, if we go back to the results, we can see that Mr. B fired only 2 rounds. He did get splash on 1, no direct hits, no penetrations. 17 hits received from the enemy, 11 of those penetrated, 6 non-penetrations, 170 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 201 hit points of spotting assist out of that one. And for that, he actually got a mission completion award, as well as 15,818 for the actual battle. His total ended up at 44,491 credits. So he did come out ahead on credits on a premium count, and also he got 864 XP to take away. But I think the also thing that we took away from this battle is that, yes, this person should be marked on your blacklist to ensure that if you ever do see this person in battle, remember he's a troll, and that he's very likely to troll you if you're in an Arty. So do watch out for him, and watch what he does, because he might troll other people other than just Arty. It might not just be the Arty that he hates, he might just hate anyone. And if you see him doing anything, then obviously you can notify it to Wargaming you've seen this person troll before, and that therefore they should have their account removed because they're a serial offender. Anyway, this was not the only game that Mr. B sent in. He did send in another game, so let's have a look at that one. In the next replay, Mr. B ended up on the Siegfried line account.
Let's get this show on the road.
Now, he did originally decide that maybe he should just end gaming for the night and not play another game, but he thought he'd give it just one more chance to try and have a bit of fun without being trolled. Okay, so he's decided to hide behind the bunker and, yes, knock the tree down. Unfortunately, that does give away your position to the enemy, but let's see how it ends up in this game anyway. Okay, enemy tank has been spotted, an A20. Now, he is reloading, almost ready. Okay, the A20 is located down by the bush. That might mean that he's going to pop up into the bush to take shots, or at least to spot from there. Rounds out. Direct hit! And it was a penetrating shot. He got 414. Remember, it's a 410 alpha. So he got a high roll out of that one. And that A20 is not feeling so bright now. In fact, our T67, I think, senses a quick kill. In the meantime, Mr. B fired a round in and then looked away immediately afterwards, which we normally frown on. But I think he's got other fish to fry, I should say. Yeah, loads of enemy tanks out there, but he can't get a great angle from this position. It's not the best position to be in. You either need to be slightly further out to the west. And we can now see where the enemy Arty is. We just saw he's in the field. He hasn't moved very far, and that's a gorilla as well. Okay, so he knows where the enemy Arty is. He's just not going to take any notice of him for the moment, because Mr. B is one of those players who says, well, why should I counter battery unless I absolutely have to? And we just saw an enemy shell arching out from that area, but he gets a direct hit on the Churchill 1 and picks up another 97 hit points. The A20's come back. He's still there. In fact, our T67 is no longer in the game, so he must have been killed. We just missed the A20. It shell zipped right over his head. Lining up another shot. Fires in his path. Lands short. Fires one at the bush and then pulls away immediately, which again, as I say, we frown on. We want to see what happens to your shells. We want to see if you're any good. And the Panzer Fumpier takes a round in his front. Rounds out. Just misses him. Remember, the Fumpier is basically a Panther with a Panzer IV turret on it. It's a premium medium, which is actually quite deadly because they've got a fast fire rate. Oh, he got a kill on the T67 that he fired at. Now he's reloaded, but that Panzer Fumpier has moved up. Did he get a shot? Rounds out. Well, he didn't get the kill on that one. The VK3001H managed to get the kill. And now he's going for the enemy T67, who's sitting down by the bunker. Let it settle before you shoot. The guy's on the move. The longer you let it settle, the more accurate the shell can be. He's ignoring that one and now going for the SU-122. He's getting a request for fire on the T67. I think that might be coming from the, well, we can see it's actually coming from the M10 RBFM who's asking for it. Now, he can't see that enemy. But he can see this SU-122, and he's letting this one dial in. That guy's got to remain still to get an accurate shot with his 122mm guns. Now, we're 2 tanks up on the enemy, but they have taken possession of most of the town. Shot the VK. And he got a direct hit. There was no explosion to that shell. And we just lost the Homni 3 who was nearby us. So there's a possibility that that T67 is moving closer. The good news, though, is we do have some tanks fairly close by who might tell us when that T67 comes into view. And in fact, yes, they have spotted him. In fact, I think it's the Covenanter who's spotting him at the moment, because he's much closer to the T67. But we can see that Mr. B aiming for the KV-1SA gets a hit. 72 hit points. He changes his aim over to this Churchill 1. I think he's hit that guy before, and he hits him again for 222 this time, so much better hit. But too late to get another shot in there. KV-1SA sitting there still. I think he's taking aim. You can get a shot on him. Fully dialed in. Rounds out. Should be a hit. It is. 122. Firing ahead of his path. Gets another hit. 127, leaves him on 36, which means he's a one-shot. But he's gone behind that concrete bunker now, the post. So it's very difficult to get a shot in him. But now look at this. The SU-2 122 trying to move in as quickly as he can. Just missed him there. Trying to get another shot. The guy's taking some damage. He's now one shot. Just misses him. Definitely a one shot now. Nope, that's not going to work, but he's dead. He's out the game. We're 2 down on the enemy. Well, we're 2 down. Now we're only 1 down on the enemy. So the numbers have changed quite dramatically. A direct hit on the VK3001H. Letting it settle. Guy pulls back into cover. Still managed to damage his tracks. And the enemy Ho-Ni 3 has actually come all the way up the east side of the map. Just misses him. We're running short on ammo now. We're almost out of HE rounds. Going to be using the heat rounds soon. Rounds out. Bad news about the heat rounds. You have to get a direct hit to make them work. But the good news is if you do get a hit, you normally completely wipe out the enemy. Got a 350 Alpha. The bad news for us is that the T67 might not be spotted now because the M10 is pulling back. And so, yes, we've got problems. We're sitting behind the bunker trying to get shots on this VK. The T67 could sneak up behind us. Going for the view shot. Direct hit wipes out the VK. There's a Churchill behind that house. We've only got 4 rounds of HE left. Nope, that didn't do anything. And you've got only 2 meter burst radius, so you don't want to waste shells trying to splash somebody. Best let your teammates force them to come out of that hole, and then you can shoot them. Okay, he's going to have to come out now because the M10 will wipe him out with 1 round. There's 3 left on either side. We still haven't seen that T67, but he must be close. And now we can see a Ho-Ni 3, and we have been spotted. Now, can we get a shot before this guy moves? Yes! Direct hit. Go for it again. And he gets him with the next shot. But now we're in trouble because the T67 has turned up. And before we can get our shot off, he pumps 2 rounds into us, leaves us on only 107 hit points. And it's just this T67 and the enemy Arty left. T67's running away. Can we manually shoot him? No, he's got too far away now for a shotgun to work effectively. But we don't need to worry about that because now, of course, he's out the game, taken out by the M10. So now we're heading down the other end of the map to kill the enemy Arty, which is a gorilla. I'm not sure what Mr. B's trying to do here. He's fairly slow as an Arty, only 28 kilometers an hour maximum speed. And I think he's now trying to go to the counter battery. Okay. There he is. Only 1 round of HE left. Rounds out. That's going to miss. Oh, it didn't. Oh, the game must have wanted him over and out. And that is a victory. To be honest, I really thought that last shot would not hit the target because the gorilla changed direction after he fired. And I thought the shell would miss him. But no, it didn't. It got him. And it earned Mr. B an ace tanker in his Fifi. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 5, 1 short of getting a top gun, and also 1/3 of the enemy team. A bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one, he managed to get 19. And he also picked up a Stark's medal for destroying at least 2 enemy tanks, receiving damage, which would effectively be the loss of 2/3 of his hit points, 2 shots from the enemy, and also surviving the battle. And on top of that, he got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game overall. His win rate, 8,813, which is super Unicum standard. So a very good game compared to the last game that he was in, which was absolutely dreadful because he was trolled. In this one, he shows off his skill and gets an ace tanker. Let's have a look at team score. Well, the highest damage in this one was 2,650 hit points to Mr. B. The second highest damage was the T67 on the enemy team, the one that actually did fire into him at the end. 2,390 hit points of damage to him. And the third highest damage was the VK3001H on their team with 1,779. When it came to kills, Mr. B managed to get that as well with 5 kills in the end. 3 kills went to the T67 on our team and also the T67 and Churchill 1 on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, he's got that one as well. In fact, he's the only player to get over 1,000. He got 1,152. The next highest being the VK3001H, 863, and 814 going to the T67. So he got the top in all 3 columns. He fired 40 rounds of ammunition, so he only had 10 rounds left at the end of the game. He got 15 direct hits on the enemy and 5 penetrating shots, 13 splash, damage of 2,650, of which 2,462 were at more than 300 meters. He did receive 2 hits. Both of them came from that T67 and both of them penetrated, I'm afraid. 76mm gun, very effective, and it did go straight through the armor. He knew where to put them to do the most damage. In fact, he did lose a considerable amount of his hit points and was left on only 107 towards the end of the game. 10 enemy vehicles were damaged, 5 were killed, 120 hit points of damage assistance. Now, he actually earned a profit on that game on a premium count, 29,751 credits. He would have earned a profit on a free-to-play account as well. He also picked up 5,875 experience points as well on top because he completed a mission. So, 2 very different games. The first one where he actually ends up being trolled. Let's go to that game. Yes, with the BT7 being a complete and utter idiot. To remind you of his name again, Mark07 Groz NYI, or NYW, NYI, sorry, yes. And of course, then followed that with an ace tanker game in his VP on the Siegfried line map, picking up a bunch of medals as well. So, very well done indeed. If you enjoyed those replays, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.